Chapter 1. The night that changed everything. Ethan Kim rubbed his tired eyes as he navigated his black Toyota Camry through the empty streets of downtown Philadelphia. The dashboard clock glowed 11:45 p.m., and the frigid temperature reading of 20 degrees Fahrenheit made him grateful for the car's heating system. Snowflakes drifted down, swirling under streetlights, adding to the exhaustion that clung to him after a grueling 5-hour city council budget meeting. As chairman of the finance committee, Ethan had spent the evening locked in tense debates over city spending, particularly the police department's request for military-grade equipment. He had vehemently opposed the proposal, advocating instead for community programs and comprehensive officer training. The streets were deserted, and Ethan found himself longing for the comfort of home. His wife, Emily, had likely left dinner in the microwave, as she often did when he worked late. He imagined the warmth of his armchair and the quiet company of a reheated meal. Just 15 minutes more. The sudden flash of red and blue lights in his rearview mirror jolted him from his thoughts. Ethan instinctively checked his speedometer. He was precisely at the speed limit. Confused but calm, he signaled and pulled over under a streetlight for visibility, recalling his father's lessons on traffic stops. His dad, a retired police officer, had drilled those into him since he was a teenager. Two officers approached the car, their flashlights cutting through the falling snow and reflecting harshly off his side mirrors. Ethan lowered his window, cold air flooding in. The officer on the driver's side rapped sharply on the glass. "License and registration," the officer demanded, his nameplate reading Davis. There was no greeting, no explanation, just cold authority. Ethan offered a polite smile, reaching slowly for his wallet. "Good evening, officer. May I ask why I'm being stopped?" The second officer, Collins, shifted his stance, his hand resting casually, but unmistakably on his holster. It was a subtle intimidation tactic that didn't go unnoticed. "Your right taillight is out," Officer Davis said flatly. Ethan blinked. He had his car serviced last week. There was no way that taillight was faulty. "I believe there might be a mistake. My car was just checked." "And step out of the vehicle," Davis barked, his voice cutting through Ethan's protest. Ethan's heart rate spiked, but he kept his voice steady. "Officer, it's below freezing out." "Now." The command echoed in the quiet street. Apartment lights flicked on in the nearby buildings, shadows shifting behind curtains as residents peered out, phones in hand. With slow, deliberate movements, Ethan unbuckled his seatbelt and stepped out into the biting cold. Snowflakes stuck to his shoulders as the officer's flashlights tracked his every move. "Hands where we can see them," Collins ordered. Ethan complied, noting with growing dread that neither officer had their body cameras activated. A blatant violation of department policy. Chapter 2. The power play. The air felt heavier now, a different kind of cold settling in Ethan's chest as Davis circled him, boots crunching in the snow. "So, you think you're smarter than us, huh?" Davis sneered, his breath clouding in the winter air. He was shorter than Ethan but carried himself with the swagger of unchecked authority. "I didn't say that, officer," Ethan replied calmly, though the cold was already seeping through his thin suit. Collins, still hovering near the car, shined his light into the interior. "Got some nice stuff in here. Custom leather seats, high-end laptop, big shot, huh?" Davis grinned. "One of those rich guys who thinks he's above the law." Ethan bit his tongue. His mind raced, weighing his options. Showing his city council badge might de-escalate the situation, but part of him wanted to see how far this would go. He had heard countless citizen complaints about abusive officers. Tonight, he was seeing it firsthand. "Drop and give me 20 push-ups," Davis suddenly barked. Ethan's jaw slackened. "Excuse me. Right here, right now." "Consider it a lesson in humility," Davis snapped, resting his hand on his taser. "Unless you want us to find something illegal in your car." Ethan glanced up at the lit windows above. Phones were recording. With clenched teeth, he knelt on the frozen pavement, the cold instantly numbing his knees. 1, 2. He counted aloud as he pushed himself up and down, each motion grinding snow and grit into his expensive suit. The humiliation was thick, almost suffocating. As he hit the 30th push-up, something slipped from his breast pocket, his leather wallet, flipping open on the icy ground. The gold embossed City Council Idaho gleamed under the streetlight. Davis. Collins stammered, his bravado evaporating as he caught sight of the badge. Davis stepped closer, his smirk fading. Shit. Ethan rose to his feet, brushing dirty slush from his sleeves. Is there a problem, officers? He asked, calm but seething. Councilman Kim, Davis stammered, suddenly deferential. We, didn't realize, clearly. Ethan picked up his wallet, taking his time. Around them, residents continued filming from their windows. I expect full reports on this incident on my desk by 9 a.m., Ethan continued coldly. And Officer Collins? Don't delete that video, you're going to include it. And you'll explain why both your body cameras were conveniently off. He got back in his car, the warmth of the heater washing over his soaked clothes, but he didn't feel any relief. In the rearview mirror, the two officers stood frozen in the snow, their careers unraveling before their eyes. Tonight would change more than just their lives. It would change the entire city.